Oh God. Good afternoon. Welcome to my cake kitchen. If we're meeting for the first time, hello there. I'm Gladys. I love cakes. And over here, I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate cake decorating. Tabitha, hello there. Oh Lord, I was supposed to be here earlier, but fear not, I am with you. Right. Yay, RD Tapeta. Blessings, lovely. Thank you, RD. How are you, my lovely? I hope you are okay. Great to have you back. But can we just say, if I have to prep to come here today, this live won't be happening. Because it's the Easter school break and people, with the good weather also, and with a 7-year-old to worry about, I have to adapt, people. Okay, so I am here to have a conversation to say, for the next 2 weeks, our lives will have to be restructured. So how do you like it? Are we going to try and get the lives for, say, evening time? Because if you've noticed, I put 3 p.m. and it's almost 4, okay? And I literally, I have showed up here without my clothes. And I mean the proverbial clothes, which is what we need to prep, okay? If I have to prep, I'll be running too late. So I'm like, let that be. And let's come and have a conversation just so that we can manage our expectation. Because this is a job for me, people. It's a job, okay? I just love you, my work colleagues. Okay, I love you. Okay, right. It's just going to be an easy day. Tapeta, how are you? Oh, RD, well, we are here on a live today, so hopefully you don't miss much. If you're catching me on replay, I have nothing to offer you. That's a first. Because normally I have a lot of things to offer you. Tapeta, love you too, darling. Yeah, love you too. Thank you, people. Thank you for your understanding with me. Remember, I've told you before, I love cakes, but I have commitment issues, people. Committing to something just makes it hard for me to think about it. So we only started making the live a consistent thing since, I think, February. And I've stuck to it. Except for when I was poorly, okay? So I like to come to work, okay? I like to come to work. I like to come and see you people, okay? But, yeah, today it's been a lot. So I think what I'm trying to do today is just kind of have an open dialogue. I know you probably aren't prepared for it, and we only have an hour. So it's just to engage with you guys, catch up. And I know you trade your attention for the value I bring you for cake making, and I am incredibly grateful for the relationship we have. So I want to create consistency, continuity, and expectancy, right? Because that's what will keep the channel growing. To be honest, if I was just showing up haphazardly, then you won't have any interest in trying to keep along, because then things will be upside down for you, if you like. So out of consideration, I think it's important for us to discuss the next 2 weeks. And I'm thinking, normally during the school period, right, the 1 p.m. time is right in the middle of the day, where we can come and exhaust up to 2 hours before school time is over. And then I have to go and attend to other duties outside of that. But of course, when school goes on a break and I have to prioritize being a parent first, it's sometimes really, it can obviously affect things over here. So this is the part where I have to come and acknowledge that sort of changing my lifestyle for the next 2 weeks. Perhaps I'm just thinking it will probably make sense to move the lives to in the evening. 6 p.m. UK time will probably make sense, because then it means I have a full day And then 6 p.m. for you, my US based audience, it's mid-afternoon sometime for you, or early afternoon. And it kind of makes sense, because I was thinking about the 3 p.m. It's still right in the middle of the day, because today I had, life happens and the traffic gets you in the way. So let me just say, the next few days I will be here. I will definitely be here on the lives. You will see me. You will see me. You've seen me today. Okay, it's Tuesday, isn't it? You'll see me tomorrow. But I will update you on a daily basis on the time. And then if we get through this week, we'll see if next week will be any different. Okay? So if you guys are here with me, thank you anyway. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to stop here, because your attention is really important. And I'm so grateful that you're able to stop here with me and catch up with me. But let's talk a bit about cakes and what's been happening. Have you seen any of the recent videos that are up on the channel? If you've seen them, put a hand up. And if you haven't, what are you doing? Okay, I don't ask anything of you, except I ask you to support what we do over here. And whether that is in the live sessions or in the shorts format or long form videos. In fact, I've gone back to baking basics, and those videos I know are not always going to be popular with a larger audience. And the reason being, people are on the channel for different reasons, and I kind of understand that. But I almost have to remember the reason why I started this channel in the first place. And it is just so that I can almost fill in a gap or help most people who are at the beginning phases of their decorating or baking journey, just so that everyone can feel inspired. I know I have now grown a selection, and I have an eclectic selection of audiences, from professionals to people who don't even bake but still enjoy the channel, and I'm so grateful for you. The reason why I've gone back to baking basics is because I still want to go back and touch on the basics of baking, just so that we don't forget that this is the reason why we're here. And the baking basics will always be a resource for anyone. So give it another 5 years and there will still be a certain group of people who still want to learn to bake and who may still find those videos useful. So if those videos are not even targeted at you, here's a polite request to say, please do me a favor and go back, have a look, and at least watch and engage with it for me, okay? I won't pretend that it doesn't make a difference. It makes a hell of a difference. And in fact, when I put a video out, especially the long form ones, and you engage with it in the first few hours of the video, you almost kind of prompt YouTube to kind of put it in front of a few other viewers. So for all of you who are watching me now, whether you're catching this on replay or you are just in the lives now, I appreciate you for being here. But my polite request to you is kindly go and check some of our most recent videos. In fact, my most recent video is the baking essentials that I recommended, and that video was very raw and unfiltered, and I was focusing very much on things that are very practical for you, in that if you don't know or never ever baked ever before, it may feel as though the activity of baking, like most new things, can be very daunting to undertake, and rightly so, because you have no concept of what it looks like. So you may start from watching various kinds of videos that tells you to get A, B, C, D, and then you get all of those things, and yet you still can't seem to figure out how to use them. And here's a little encouragement for you. And I've said it in the video, I have repeated it time and again, even on most recent posts, to say, you do not need expensive equipment to start baking. And I mean it when I say that. I'm not saying that just because just to get your attention. It's actually very true. When I started baking, honestly, the excitement that I felt about baking came from the curiosity of trying to do something new, the novelty of it, and also using it as a learning resource between myself and a client I worked with at the time. Part of our activity included cooking and baking. So baking was just an exciting something to do. And because that excitement and curiosity was what I was more interested in exploring, I wasn't fussed about baking equipment. So in fact, my first baking that I undertook were much of me wanting to complete the baking, but using what I had. And because it wasn't my own home, and I didn't have control over the choices I had to make about the gadgets, that is, if I wanted to. What I then focused on was how we can achieve what we wanted with just what we had. So here's what I did. I didn't have the luxury of everything I have now. Today I have I have three mixers actually. There's two on display. I would say 3.5 because one of my mixers comes with 2 bowls. Right, so I have almost 3.5, which makes it 4 mixers, if you like. And I have the luxury of a commercial oven and a home oven. These things took me nearly 10 years to gather. So here's something I'll say to you. If you're starting baking and you are really, 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 really excited about baking, you'll find that you don't need all the things that are recommended. Look around you and see what you have. If you have a whisk, if you have a spatula, most kitchen items. And I say this to also say, yes, if you're a business, then your focus and objectives are slightly different, right? But the Baking Basics video is genuinely aimed at people who are just starting. So I have kept things simple. For instance, if you're looking for a decorating option like a cake stand, you don't need a cake stand when you've just first started. Your kitchen plate will be the most helpful resource for you, over which a bit of imagination and a bit of artistry will help you arrange all the bakes you have undertaken. And when you start baking, you probably have to determine what you're going to bake, because baking is on a wider spectrum than you think. I make cakes, but I have no idea how to make a macaron. Okay, I think if I kind of think about it and find a recipe and follow all the tips, I will achieve my best results. But the best result for me making a macaron first time is definitely going to be different to the 10th year when I make a macaron. Okay, so my point is, let's not overemphasize the perception of perfection, which will stall you from starting. If you don't have the tools, look around you, see what you have. But what you have is also determined. What is around you is also determined by your clear intentions. Why are you wanting to bake? Do you like baking? Or you've watched a few TikTok videos that's told you, oh, baking will be exciting, and you probably just want to get into it for the sake of. Why are you trying to bake? So episode 2 of that video is coming shortly on Sunday. It's going to be a very chilled, laid back video where I hand you just simple tips. It's a short video, but it's also going to kind of touch on the basic things that you need to do long before you turn an oven on. So do look out for that video. Let me just get in the chat and see what I am missing. Okay, Audi is in the chat. Hey there, lovely. Thank you for being here. Tapita is here. Tapita is doing great. She's planting seeds in a garden. Plenty of garden seeds. Oh, Tapita, Tapita, you are a handy, homely person at heart. Look at you. What am I baking? Rosie, I am not baking anything today. Okay, today we are not baking, and that is because I haven't been organized enough. Okay, today no baking. Today I just want to catch up with you guys. In fact, I want to even get a seat. But when I get a seat, that's how we end up getting to 3 hours and nothing gets done. Okay, so today, Rosie, we are not baking. In fact, I was baking yesterday, I was baking cupcakes. And if you wonder what I was baking some, look at what I've done. I baked some cupcakes for my neighbor's son. Look, these are some lovely chocolate cupcakes. Oh, I wanted to bake it yesterday, but I thought it's not alive. You know, we have chocolate cupcakes here. That's all. That's all. But they are lovely though. This is the Claire Saffit's chocolate cake recipe. And it's a good recipe. So if you Frisk, Troll, great to have you back. Thank you for being here. You must enjoy this channel. You don't even bake. Okay. I'll go back. Why am I eating? Look, people, just bear with me. Okay. Oh, lollipop. Look at you people. It's like today I'm hanging out with a bunch of my mates. Okay. Lollipop. How are you, my darling? I know you are all right because I've been greeting you all morning. Anyway, and if you wonder where I met Lollipop, I met her somewhere under my comment section. Oh dear. I think my postman is here. Don't worry. There you go. Thank you. My postman is here. Okay, let me just... See? Welcome to my home, okay? Where my postman delivers the post and I still have to say hello, okay? Frisk, where are you going? 7 p.m. Wow. Well, yeah, it's a little bit late, I know. It should have been sooner, but you know what? We didn't... Oh, look, I need a cup of tea. Lollipop has a panda cake to make. So let's try and unpack that with Lollipop. Is it a panda cake, Lollipop? Lollipop is our friend and moderator. Did I tell you I like tea? A panda cake. So Lollipop, forget my kettle. It's a very noisy kettle. Yeah, I love tea, okay? I actually do love tea. It has stained my tea. But hey, I'm not complaining. I mean, when YouTube starts paying me good money, I've got to go see is it esthetician they call them? No, the esthetician. What does the esthetician do? Please stop, glad. The esthetician doesn't polish your teeth, does he? It's the dentist. Okay, ignore me. Clearly, somehow, I don't know the difference between the esthetician and the dentist. So, people, look, I've got a random question for you. What? Ardy, stop laughing at me. Now, people, let me ask you a question. It's a random question. What's the difference between a dentist and an odontologist? I know they all do teeth, right? Why am I even talking about teeth? It's so wild. Okay. Right. What's the difference? Don't Google it. If you Google it and tell me, the Lord is watching. Because I can tell you, I could Google it myself, right? What's the difference between an odontologist? Okay. It isn't okay. Right. So one is for the braces and the other does what? The other does the root canal and what? Can we find out? Okay, let's see. What's the difference between an odontologist? Let's see. A dentist and an odontologist. Oh, okay. People have been Googling that. Okay. While they are both dentists, the odontologist, the orthodontist. Okay, dentists provide general dental care, whilst the orthodontists specialize in correcting the teeth and jaw. Okay. So one is more serious than the other. You know what? I have just seen it. It turns out it's not even odontologist, it's orthodontist. Why are we talking about? Well, it's only because I'm like, I drink too much tea and it will stain my teeth. That's how the conversation came along. So I've learned something. It's not odontologist, it's orthodontist. Whatever. Okay, I make cakes. All these fancy words have no business in my cake business. Okay. One is cosmetic and the other is not. Yeah, one focuses on the health of the teeth. Whatever that is. I mean, let's Google that stuff. Okay. But anyway, I just want a cup of tea. Okay. We're here to drink tea and to chit chat. So Lollipop, let's help Lollipop unpack the idea of the panda cake. Now, I know Lollipop can bake a good cake, so the baking of the cake is not the problem for Lollipop. Perhaps, yes, if I'm baking a cake for a dentist, it depends, you know. So before we come to the panda cake, sometimes the idea of the cake is set in how the cake has to be presented. So the presentation and design options for a cake exist on a spectrum. So you can have the theme of the cake carved as the element itself. So for instance, if a dentist wanted a cake and wanted the cake shaped in a teeth form, then that is almost like the finest artistry of the cake making process, where I have to actually employ every artistic skill to carve the cake and then present it as a teeth. It's a different sort of skill level, and a different price point is applied to that. And sometimes the downside of that is the cake is not so much for eating anymore. It is for the presentation, right? So if you ask me to make a realistic teeth as part of a cake, like as in a set of teeth to show a dentist and his instrument, that cake is not going to serve, like, I can't make that cake realistic so that it will serve 100 people. Okay, that's not my ministry. So I'll have to focus on carving the cake, but at best maybe 10 people because of the size. But you're probably going to pay an arm and a leg for that. Whereas if I was having to make the cake as a theme element where the instrument and the teeth is represented on the cake, then that's a different take. That requires a different skill as well. And the price points are slightly different. And with that in mind, I think that is the conversation we're going to be having with Lollipop and the panda cake. Because surely, Lollipop, you don't want to carve a panda, do you? But you want to bring the panda theme to your cake, correct? So what ideas do you have in mind right now? If I know your ideas, then I can ask questions about what informs your idea, and then we can help you settle on how you can tackle the idea from ideation to actual tangible item in cake form. So Lollipop, darling, what so far, what are you thinking in terms of the panda cake? Talk to me about what ideas. Nothing is too silly and nothing is just too ununderstandable, if that's a word. So just get into the raw parts of your thinking process concerning this cake and let us know what you're thinking about it. And RD says she loves the idea of a cake as a centerpiece. I think, you know what, that is, as a cake maker, here's something controversial I'll say. I like it too, because that is where the excitement of my job stays. Okay, I love artistic pieces, but they are such an unnecessary luxury, even though I like to make you a cake and charge you for it. Okay. Okay, so I think Lollipop is answering our question. The panda cake, she said black and white. I think layers, black, white, black fondant with a face and Rice crispy ears. Okay, Lollipop, you've got quite a good idea going for you. So black and white fondant. So layers, black and white fondant. Is it? Okay, black. Okay, so I think it's layers, black, white. Okay, I think I'm reading this wrong. Are we talking about black and white layers, or we're just talking layers of cake with black fondant and some black and white pieces like a panda would look like? Black and, okay, black and white fondant. Okay. Okay, black, okay, black, so black and white fondant outside. Okay, that sounds, are you confident about tackling that? Because working with black fondant can be a little bit tricky to work with. First of all, here's the tip. Do not, whatever you do not color your fondant. Go and buy black fondant. You can get black fondant in Tesco or any of your supermarkets. They are packaged in small, I think 250 grams, very small packets. And is it 250 or a little less than that? It could be, I could be wrong, but they're in small pockets. Please buy them. Don't color your fondant black. Okay? Yes, please buy black fondant. Don't be tempted to make it or color it, especially for black. That's a lot of undertaking, especially for you. So no. You know what? When you can, I know your shorts, your channel, as in your YouTube handle, is available. When you can, Lollipop, do me a favor. Find 3 photos of the cakes you are perceiving in your mind, and then post them like the cakes you did for the last cake you baked, just so that I can see what you're thinking. Okay, because we want to help you achieve success with this panda cake. Okay, whatever we do, we want to help you get there. So if find 3 Google images that you're looking or thinking, and leave them as like leave them in the sort of shorts that you did last time, and give me a heads up, and let's have a look and see what we can do with those. Okay. Because sometimes, you know what, it's not so much what you cannot do. It is about more about encouraging you and also helping you build confidence in the thing. Because even how do you build confidence? By doing the thing you don't know how to do, right? That's the only way. And with that intention comes the possibility of failure. Oh hell, we are going to fail and fail so fast. But by the time you get to doing it, even if we give you all the tips, because you haven't done this before, it will feel scary. But that's okay. But if you proceed with the intention that, you know what, failure is a possibility, then we can mitigate the possibilities of failure here. That doesn't mean we won't fail. That doesn't mean we'll get perfect results. But what you're doing is you're optimizing for your best outcome for a first time try. Okay, which is something I will always encourage. Just because you're scared of doing something doesn't mean you shouldn't. In fact, go be scared, but do it anyway. Because you know what? By so doing, by facing your fears, you are almost like desensitizing the fear. So the next time you try a cake like that, you won't be scared anymore. And remember, the first cake you baked, amazing tasting cake, you said, but you were down on yourself about the decorating of that cake. Look, if you were to try the same cake ever again, the results you had for the first time will be different. And that is because you've done it the first time, you knew what your struggles were, and now you will go back and approach it with a different set of eyes and skill. And will you get perfect results? No, I do not even encourage perfection. Have you seen the channel? Have you seen me literally showing up in my raw self where things are falling over here? Look, I'm stood here today talking to you because you know what? I wasn't able to prep accordingly. Okay? And I'm here telling you about it. Now, can we still talk about cakes? Yes, we're talking about the panda cake. We're talking about approaching your cake decorating journey as a complete beginner. There's always going to be something to talk about. But hell, do I want to bake? Yes, I wanted to, but I couldn't organize the ingredients on time. I had to even go and buy eggs before I came here, people. Okay? Right? So you feel the fear, but do it anyway. Tapeta, do you have work today? I tell you what, since I got out of bed, my feet has barely touched the ground because I've been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, Artie wants to learn a good rum cake recipe with a good almond paste and royal icing. Artie, that is not my ministry. Okay. Oh, right. I know a good rum cake though. Ooh. Whew. With the almond paste. There's a variation of that type of cake that used to be wedding cakes in Ghana. Growing up in Ghana. Ooh, wedding cakes were such a luxury. I need to go get myself a... I know. Like, oh, not the rum. Let me just drink tea, okay? Audi. Audi, are you sure it's just a rum cake you want? Okay? I think it's the rum you want. Just be honest. No. I like a good rum cake. But I find a rum cake and a fruit cake, I find them both intense to do. And because they are such strongly flavored cakes, I am a bit of a texture person. Yeah, textures. If you've been on the channel, we've talked about cakes and textures a lot. And I'm always optimized for a finer textured cake or a densely delicate cake. Now, does that exist for all cakes? No. And a fruit or rum cake is almost the opposite of a cake I like, because I don't like the fruits in my cake. It's a fruit cake or a rum cake is optimized to be very dense. And whilst I like a little bite of it, it's not a cake I want to eat all the time. So there's an occasion for such a cake. And if you get grandma's recipe, like there are some recipes of rum cakes that are passed down from family trees, like generations. And I remember a time when a woman from St. Kitts made my 25th birthday cake. Now I'm showing my age, aren't I? That seems like a long time ago. And boy, that cake was amazing. It was a fruit cake, but I said to her, I didn't want the fruits to be whole in the cake. And she minced the fruit into the cake. Ooh, one of the best tasting cakes. Because I'll tell you this for nothing. I do not like cakes that are too sweet. I like a cake on the less sweet side. I obviously have the advantage of being a cake maker, so I can optimize the cake for my own taste preferences. Lollipop has gone and done her homework and she's found the images, so she needs to locate and paste. Amazing. So okay, so Artie, you're a bit like me. You don't like the chunky. No chunky bits in my cake. No chunky fruits. But I really don't mind pecans in my carrot cake or some cakes that I might like, okay? But it has to be, I don't want soggy pecans, okay? Roast the pecans, let it be crispy so that it adds a touch of crunch. But the fruits, not at all, okay? Yeah, we are now all in a Lollipop's mind. We want to see what she's thinking. So when she posts it, I'm sure we'll see it. You know what? Blueberries, they are okay. I'm not mad about blueberries. I mean, the muffins that I made. Oh, the blueberries. In fact, the blueberries were frozen and I threw them in. And by the time they came to defrost in the batter, when I baked it, they added to the texture of the blueberry muffins. They were amazing. Not too sweet, a little bit savory. And because there was the streusel topping, oh my God, they were so good. But you know what? I couldn't even enjoy them because I was just recovering. Remember, I was just recovering from... So it was the producer, the big one. The little producer didn't like the fruits in it. So he was like, no, this is not for me. Goodbye. God bless you. Okay? But yeah, blueberries in a cake, not bad. You know what? I don't like raspberries. They're so precious. They look... The hair on raspberries makes me a bit queasy. Okay? Them buggers are like... And they are so soft sometimes. You're like, what is that? But they are good for your health. Okay? So the doctor says 5 a day. Eat some raspberries. Maybe raspberry jam. Hello? Look at me. Look at me going on to be obnoxious. Where have you had raspberry jam lately? If you can tell me if you can tell me, where have you had raspberry sorbets good? Where have you had raspberry jam? No, not raspberry jam, raspberry spread. Look at me stirring the pot. Oh my God. Lollipop. Lollipop has 3 jams in her fridge and none of them are raspberry. Okay, Tabitha. Tabitha says, I have raspberries growing in my front yard. I don't love eating them fresh, but I do love raspberry jam, the chunky kind of jam with the seeds. Okay, so Lollipop has three what jams in the fridge, and so I take it, Lollipop, you didn't buy Megan's raspberry spread. Now you go and support another woman, okay? No, look, I'm just being facetious, okay? Let's just leave that alone, right? Tapeta says she loves raspberries, which are growing in her front yard. She loves eating them fresh. Oh my God. So Lollipop is saying Tabitha doesn't love peaches because of the hair on them. Well, talk about peaches and kiwi. Kiwi. If you don't like peaches, kiwi says hold my beer. Oh God, I nearly fell over with my tea. Yeah. You know what? I don't like biting into a kiwi, but when I can get past the skin where I can peel it, then I like it. But then I have to almost like, you know what? I'm just going to leave the kiwi subject over there. Okay? Cinnamon is back. Cinnamon. Okay. Poor kiwi. Poor kiwi. Poor kiwi just okay. Yeah, let's just keep let's just keep this PG, okay, people? Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah. Let's be kind to cinnamon, okay? Let's all be kind. Look at me. Cinnamon. Are they kind to you? Cinnamon. Let's be kind to kiwi, okay? I meant kiwi. I am sure cinnamon is having a good time, okay? Right. How did we even get here? How? I can't even remember how I got here. Oh, okay. Right. So here's a daft question. I thought kiwis would grow in a tropical like weather. So, Tapita, is it sunny all year through where you are? How do you have kiwis over there? Because Tapita, you're in Oregon, okay? You know what? Yeah, Lollipop, I'm with you. I don't know how we got here. And I'm like, well, I mean, if we are complaining about the hair on the peaches, well, aubergine is clean and fresh. Yeah, we can't. Who likes an aubergine? I mean, I can't really, because that, like, it's smooth. I've got tears in my eyes. Oh God. The kiwis. Yeah, because if the only reason we got here, I don't know how we got here, but oh, we were talking about like fruits. Okay, so I see. I remember how we got here. We got here because we were talking about fruits and things in our cakes, and then I'm like, then we got to the subject of raspberry in cakes and stuff like that, and I'm like, raspberry, I like them, but they have hair on it. And then peaches, which Tabitha doesn't like the hair on peaches. And then when we started talking hairy fruits, we thought about the good old kiwi that has too much hair, but an aubergine doesn't. So, but then an aubergine cake, who's had that? No, unless we're talking obviously a hyper realistic cake. Okay, so so I take it a kiwi would grow in your weather too. Yeah, and you know what? An aubergine in Ghana, we have what you call garden egg stew. Okay, and the garden egg is a variation of an aubergine. It's smaller, and if you allow it to grow, if sometimes when it's grown differently, it can grow as big as an aubergine, but it's not the color of an aubergine. This is more like off-white and cream looking, but they're called garden eggs. You can Google a garden egg. The name is garden egg. I think the part where aubergine is called an eggplant is kind of like confusing for me. But anyway, if you Google garden eggs or eggplants, you will see, right? They are white little things that look like eggs. Obviously, they come in the shape of an egg. They are not eggs. And the way we use it to prepare what you call garden egg stew in Ghana, we prepare aubergine stew the same way, and it's really nice. But otherwise, in the other cultures and the way I've seen aubergine prepared, I haven't enjoyed it so much. But don't go to sleep on aubergine sauce. It's really, really lovely if it's prepared the Ghanaian way. I mean, I can only speak for what I know. I find aubergine really boring. Not that it will be used for cakes. I don't know about a cake where aubergine is present. But how did we even get here? Oh, Tapeta, you ate. Look, the delicacy of an eggplant is very unique anyway. Okay, so I'm not mad if you don't like it. Yeah, and courgettes. Yeah, there are some things that I think you need a specialty cook to be able to cook them, and those will include aubergine, eggplants, and courgettes. So I am not even surprised that. And I think there is one vegetable. It looks like a carrot. What's the name? It looks like a carrot, but it's white. If you know what I'm talking about, it's in the carrots section when you, as if you come grocery shopping with me. It comes in the shape of a carrot, but it's white. Yeah, parsnip. Yep. Thank you, Tapita. Tapita, you literally went into my head. A parsnip. I like parsnips because they're sweet, but there's a smell to them that I can't stomach. No, not a zucchini. Oh, zucchini is the courgettes, isn't it? Zucchini, courgettes, and cucumber are in the same family, isn't it? Well, a zucchini muffin would be lovely to eat, wouldn't it? And lovely too. Oh, Tapeta, so it's not you getting in my brain, it's mom. Mom, thank you so very much. Okay. Yeah. No, it's a parsnip, RD. It looks like a carrot, but talking about squash, I have some squash sitting in my fridge that I want to use to make soup. Why are we even talking about it? Yeah, no, not squash cakes. Oh no, no, no. But then, if you think about squash, if you roast the squash to make it flavorful or caramelize it, you can end up with a pumpkin spice cake. Am I crazy? Oh, okay. Now look at us talking about our different preferences. So cinnamon only eats zucchini if it's pickled. Wow. You know what? Pickled fruits in a jar. I can only stomach beetroot. Besides beetroot, I don't like pickled things. Yeah, so squash, you if you think squash and pumpkins, they are not the same thing, but they have the similar properties in terms of color and texture. So if you caramelize your squash, you can use it to make a pumpkin spice cake, and no one will know any different. See, we went from hairy fruits to pickled fruits. And why are we even here? Because these things, we're talking like fruits and elements in our cakes. You know, I like my cakes to have a light texture, but I can sprinkle in a little bit of texture by adding some pecans and just a small selection of bits. Yeah, you know what? We could talk. That's why after I realized that, look, organizing was going to be a pointless effort, I thought, you know what? I'm still going to go to the marketplace and talk to these people, because we can almost always talk about anything cake related or general life, because you're all like human beings. You know, you have a life. There are things you like, there are things you don't like, and you have your own experiences which can still be of value to one another. So we could be talking about cakes, and that's definitely a comfort zone for me. Okay, talking cakes is very comfortable because that is the subject that I bring over here. But you know what? On a day like this, yeah, we can talk about hairy fruits. Oh dear. Tomato soup cake, lollipop. Where did you find tomato soup cake? Southern fried squash. Cinnamon. That's the first time. I thought I was reading southern fried chicken. You know what? I know the sadness over there in America. Your food has a sort of, it reminds me of my native Ghana. Like, you people cook some really wholesome foods, right? Your grills and like, you're talking proper soul food. But southern fried squash, I will taste it if you serve me a plate. Okay, what should I expect of that? Is it crispy? Is it crunchy? Let's see. Fried in a cast iron with butter and garlic. Oh, okay. Zucchini season. Lollipop. I wanted crumbled cakes. Traditional trifle with candied flowers and candied fruit. Okay. Ardi, what informs your intention? Ooh. Because I think the crumbled cake in mason jar seems like a doable thing. Why don't you go for it? Try it and see. And then if you, the trifle will also be great. But you know what trifle is like? I find that trifle, you have to layer different things. And yeah, the idea of doing different things sometimes can be a little bit like, why can't we just get to a cake and have buttercream on top? But either way, what is stopping you from trying it? And yeah, cinnamon is telling us about the southern fried squash. It is basically squash dipped in batter, like chicken. Oh, okay. Come on, Algie, go make it for Easter. You know what? Look, let me not say it out loud. I'll put it on the community post because we have to do the bake along for Easter. Okay, we definitely have to, right? So I'm going to collect some recipes so we can get it. But you know what? I don't even know what day is Good Friday. Is it this Friday? Don't judge me, okay? I go to church. Ooh, okay. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is telling. Okay, so it's the week after, isn't it? 18th is Good Friday. Lollipop, thank you for saving the day because oh, okay, so it's next week. You know what I'm doing on Good Friday? I'm hosting a wedding, not my wedding. Remember, last year I was the MC for a 60th. Now I am going to be hosting a wedding and it's on Good Friday. How did I not remember that? Christ. Oh, Lord. Our hour of catching up is nearly done. Imagine if we just caught up at a bus station where we're like, I haven't seen you for a while. I think that's my African self coming to play. Like when you haven't seen someone for a while, you see them and you're like, oh, it's good to hug you. It's lovely. Sir, no. Mama, no, there's one upstairs. It's charging. Yeah. Yeah, it's charging by the bedside. Okay. So people, you know, I've got to figure out what we are going to be doing for this lives. But back to where we started, okay? The Baking Basics is back. So episode 2 will be some tips. I can tell you, I filmed the entire video and then I accidentally deleted it. You've not been a creator if you haven't lost your footage. Footage that you spent hours filming, okay? That's where I am at. But you know what? Delete the footage or not, the video is going to be showing still. So I am sure on Sunday that video will be out. In the meantime, you know what? Adi, you know what? Some days it feels like we are the bunch of friends. I only have a picture of this in my mind where you meet each other and you're saying goodbye, and the goodbye, you end up in a pub. And by the end of the evening, you're still saying goodbye and you're walking the same direction when in fact you should be walking opposite directions. Okay? This is what the conversation is like over here sometimes for me. Because I feel like sometimes when I show up, over here, I'm like, let me go and get this cake thing done and be gone, okay? And then I show up and then we talk about cake and we talk about life and we talk about everything else in between. And it's like, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. But we are not going anywhere. You know, that is the beauty of this community we have. You know, you have a community when you can come and hold space and have a conversation, but a conversation doesn't look out of place. And I know this doesn't bode well for, these sessions don't bode well for replay, because when the replay crew come back, they're like, what are you talking about? We have no idea because everybody is moved on. And talk about move on, let's move on now, and I'll go and get organized and we'll be back to serious baking tomorrow. Thank you for your patience, your time and value always. A pleasure being here. And yeah, let's continue the chat in the community post. Okay, look out in the community post because our community post is very, very active. I post on there all the time. I'm updating you. In fact, I updated the post there saying I'll be here at 3 p.m. Scrap that. Back to the intention. I will update you in real time what times the lives will be, because I have to adapt for the changing circumstances, which is the Easter holiday, and I have my son at home. So for that, Please bear with me. Please tolerate the few changes I'll be making, but I promise you, as best as I can, I will be here, okay? And we will get to baking. And hopefully we continue to inspire each other, support each other, and find value with what we're doing. Have a good afternoon. I'll see you in my next video.